What's good, my wonderful Retro Squad? First off, I want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to Queso Big Dipper for this wonderful sit down that we had to discuss his EP, Rental Red Benz, that's out. We had a wonderful conversation, and y'all make sure that y'all go and support his channel. I have everything down below in the description so that y'all can go and check him out, but we're finna go ahead and get into the interview now. I know that we pretty much covering the EP and stuff. I did want to have kind of like a couple of background things just to ask you and stuff, because just from me listening to the EP, I could tell that it had like a lot of things from your past, so to speak. And to me, it seemed like you were kind of burying the past, and then, or not necessarily like burying the past, but like how a lot of people have stuff like from their past life attached to like an older name or something like that, or like just running the streets and stuff. So from what I was getting out of it, it seemed like you was kind of putting that to bed and moving on with the life that you have now, and kind of disassociating yourself with it, because a lot of people that don't know that you done made that change, they'll see you, and then the first thing they is like what's up, man? Like, what's up? Like, you still like you still doing all of that, and it's like no, man, like I'm not doing that no more. I'm a newer person, and that's what I could tell in your music. And to me, it felt like this was more so like a passion project, so to speak. And just kind of leading us into what's to come in the future. And that's the main thing that I enjoyed from the EP in general. But
appreciate that.
Oh yeah, for sure. But before we actually like get all the way into it, I do want to know what was your mindset when you was like putting this whole EP together?
So I'm gonna answer that, but so what you just said, because I like what you just said before, it was definitely a passion project. Like with Rental Red Benz, and I think you described it very well. I watched your reaction you did. If y'all ain't seen his reaction, you definitely got to check it out. It's one of my favorites to the EP, if not my favorite. But yeah, it's almost is a burying of something, right? It's as you progress into the world that I live in now, it's such a drastic change. You know what I'm saying?
Like night and day.
And so because of that drastic change, there's certain things that have to get put aside on top of they Rico and just about everybody. So I gotta let these niggas know I don't got nothing to do with you niggas, boy. I'm over here on YouTube.
Hey, you making an honest living now.
I'm chilling. And even with art, I don't like to, as an artist and as a reactor, it gets sort of difficult, because one part of me is solely dedicated to actually describing and breaking down what artists mean and are saying. But then me as an artist, I do not like to, I guess, over explain my music, because at the end of the day, it is about interpretation. And so watching your reaction to the album was way different than Trey Bullow's reaction. That was way different. And there's themes. I think everybody sort of grasped the themes and certain things and the overarching thing, but there's a lot of details that are different. So when we talk about like the passion project, we talk about the name of the project, it does actually mean a lot to me, because but it means a lot to me, but because of everything. But it then, when I talk about the album, sometimes I don't know how much to say, because Rental Red Benz, the Rental Red Benz stands for multiple things. But the first one, that as I interpret it, or as I wrote it, is that the car itself is an allegory for my life. And if you never get out of the car and you follow the album all the way through, and I guess, maybe spoiler alert, you know what happens to the car.
Exactly.
The last noise you hear, right? So yeah, that's that. And then what was your other question? I forgot what your other question was.
Just pretty much on like, where was your mindset and like what was your thought process going into the EP? Because like I said, I've always kind of like, since I've been into the reaction space and just just following you and your music and everything, I've always checked out like your freestyles, or like even some of your older music that you dropped. But
that's a fact. You don't miss on the reactions.
Yeah, but to me, this one just felt different, and I could tell, I could sense elevation. I could tell that you was in a different place of your life. So that's pretty much what I wanted to know. Like, like what was your thought process, and like where were you mentally when you was actually putting this body of work together, as opposed to some of your other projects that you do have prior to this one.
that I have out? Yeah, that's a great question. My mindset with this sort of was sort of what my mindset with my life is right now. Okay, I even chose the title Rental Red Benz because I'm definitely not broke, but I'm definitely not rich. I can't get me a Benz, but I might be able to rent me one if them niggas don't go
Yes.
back too much traffic reports. So it's that. You know what I'm saying? It's come with bail. I know I've been broke, but I've been bougie still, still eating value meals. But in that new Chanel,
And
thank
I
you, Lord.
Perfect. I wanted I
Uh-huh.
wanted to touch on that because after you finish your point, I did want to go through the entire track list. Not necessarily listen to it per se, but just kind of
Just
break
yeah,
down, check out the track list and just kind of see what was the thought process into each individual song.
that's fire. That's a bet. So, damn, I don't forgot the question again. I'll be on that good grass. What was it talking about?
Just your mindset with making
My
the EP,
mindset
making the
going into it.
project.
So yeah, so my mindset was sort of that, and I try to keep my music as an honest reflection of what's going on in my life, and so my mindset was just like I think it was genuinely, it was hope, it was
Mm-hmm.
moving forward, it was redemption, it was
Yep.
also learning that I'm just one person in this life and I'm not God and
Mm-hmm.
I'm no more special than anybody else, right? And
Yep.
we're gonna talk about the album, but like the first song, Dismas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that song is about realizing that the first person in heaven was the thief,
Yep.
right? That song is about realizing that it's no longer on you to pass judgment. I don't stand for
Mm-hmm.
that. And so I'm talking about a situation where somebody in the beginning of that song, I'm talking about a guy who snitched on one of the homies.
Mm-hmm.
But that guy didn't even hang out with us, right? And he didn't even, and I didn't hang out with us either, just putting that out there too, in case somebody's listening. But he didn't hang out with us. He never was around us or nothing like that. They let this nigga take the stand. And
Mm-hmm.
I sat in the position that I'm in right now, and there's a lot of stuff that there's bills getting paid. There's a lot riding on me at this very moment, and I sit there and I go, so what am I supposed to do? What you niggas want me to go kill this nigga? Like what am I supposed to do, right?
Yep.
And so there's a line in there where I said I'm gonna let his ass survive because suicide is how Judas died because the pay it's on him to deal with that. It's not on me
Mm-hmm.
to judge him
Yep.
because the song is I'm not God. I'm just another thief on the cross waiting for
That's
my judgment.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Perfect. I'm
You
gonna
hear
actually
me?
that's a great segue. Like being that you already covered Dismas, I actually got your track list pulled up right now. But I did before we even go through the entire track list. I do want to talk about the features that you have up here. Cause I mean,
Okay.
obviously I don't know any of these people.
Hmm.
But what I do want to know is like, are these other like aspiring artists? Are these like close relatives, people that you know from like from your area and stuff, or is this more so of just you reaching out to other people and y'all kind of collabing? Like how did the features come together?
Okay, cool question. So that's a crazy one. It's because this album is a ride, it was literally that in creation. I haven't dropped a project in a
Mm-hmm.
few years. I've dropped, like you said, freestyles and things like that, but project it's been a little minute. So the entire journey of driving my rental red Benz was this nigga. So the first feature is like the show that six. That is the guy that I met in that's my homie from we was locked up together as kids and we sort
Okay.
of went from there. You see Slick Rich is somebody I met outside the club in Austin, Texas one night. And we were just out there faded. There was a whole lot of hoes. I said, boy, that fit is crazy. He said, nigga, your fit is crazy. Next thing I know, this nigga starts singing. So organically, that song just sort of comes to be. 6th Street, Austin, Texas, was a guy who I met at my I had a basketball court outside my apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and nigga, we used to be out there hooping all day. Me and Milk would be
Yes,
out there
sir.
hooping all day. So he came out there and we started hooping. So I don't know what happened, but he must have brought up because I don't really usually bring up what I do for a living to people unless they ask me because
Yeah.
I just feel I don't want to come off like a weirdo, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I just keep it cool. Like if you ask, I'll tell you, but like I don't know, I just be chilling. Sometimes I even lie, but and
Yeah.
the dude he started playing his music
Yeah.
and his
Go
sound is
lay down. Go lay
really
down with mommy.
different. His sound is really different and his energy is really different. So we sat down and we were just sort of looking at the song and that song so
Mm.
embodied Sixth Street by Austin, Texas. I
That's it.
think a lot of niggas think that when they hear that title, they think it's gonna be like a street in the hood. But if you've
Mm-hmm.
never been to Austin, Texas, no, that's the street where all the clubs and bars and drinking and partying and finger banging these hoes happen. So you got a young bull in the shop.
Yeah.
So that's where let me watch my mouth. That's where that energy for that song comes from because I feel like if you
Mm-hmm.
ever partied on Sixth Street of Austin, Texas, this is exactly how it feels, how that song sounds.
Gotcha. And I know when I heard that particular song, like before I even listened to it, cause I'm big on paying attention to titles and everything. And when I seen that title at Sixth Street, Austin, Texas, I knew that it was something very specific about that. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate, yeah, I appreciate that.
And like the title Dismas, right? Is that is the name of the thief that was first went into heaven, right? All
Okay.
of these titles are chosen sort of selected specifically because of of the name of it. So like Blick at a picnic basket, right?
Mm-hmm.
The piano keys that Izzy played, that's my producer, Izzy does it. The the chord he played reminded me of that a Yogi
Yeah.
Bear in the piggy bank. So that shit just stuck in my head.
I
So
didn't
that's
even pick up on that. Yeah, just to continue your thought, with the Yogi Bear and stuff, I hate that I didn't get a chance to pick up on that. But that was clever. That was clever.
and be like that. And that is the thing. I think this is a project that is growing on people. I think this is a project that is supposed to that you just couldn't or shouldn't, I hope, be able to interpret every single detail. Now, like I said, I would hope you can get like the general idea. But like once you start realizing, like, yo, this is like a story. One of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite parts of this album of watching people react to it is literally the face that people make when they react to the song Rental Red Benz because the way my voice comes in is real jarring, and niggas don't know
Mm-hmm.
if they're gonna like it yet.
Yeah.
And you watch as it builds, and they go, oh shit." That by the last chorus, that same chorus that had you like, I don't know, niggas is rental red bands down, and it's like I just love to see the journey that people are able to go on with
Mm-hmm.
this project.
Exactly. And that was one of my favorite tracks too, because it just it to me it felt like, and like I was saying in my reaction, the thing that I enjoyed about your overall project was like it felt like a complete body of work, because the
Thank
intro,
you.
like the first song, felt like a legit intro, and then like you said, you took us through a journey throughout, if you listen to it from top to bottom, because a lot of people, they kind of bounce around, but I
Right.
like I like to listen to projects from top to bottom, because I feel like that's how the artist intended for it to be listened to.
Of course. Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, so
Yes.
like you took us through this journey all the way through, and then the last song, Rental Red Benz, which is the same title as the project, I feel like you done a perfect job in, like, closing us out, but still
Appreciate that.
leaving us to where we want more. You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
like,
So
and I understand that there's more coming, based
for
on how
sure.
how it closed out.
So me and my team's plan is that we should be getting out a project. Uh, I want to be doing at least 5 to 6 projects a year, this leading on to this year. Let's say you're 4 months in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a person who, a big part of my YouTube shit is live streaming albums. That's one of my favorite things to do is live streaming niggas'
Yeah.
albums. Because of that, I started learning so much fucking shit about an album because I started going, it should have a theme. It should be
Mm-hmm.
concise. It should be with like an EP. 7 tracks is perfect number, and but with 7 tracks, right? That Rental Red Benz is it becomes like a test in school. When the test only got 5 questions to fail, that
Hey,
shit,
hey,
every answer really rhymed on some.
you
And
gotta
if I would
lock
have put
in.
like 20, and that makes it so much tougher. But I still chose it. I still took that risk because I believed as an artist I'd be able to convey my message in 7 songs. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I'm happy. I'm happy that it has resonated and that people have been able to pick up the message of the album.
Mm-hmm. And that's I'm glad that you did touch on some of it too. A few seconds ago, cause that was one of the other things that I said in my reaction too. Like when I listen to full projects, whether it be an EP, or full project or like a full album,
Right.
I always pay attention to like the storytelling, the flow of it.
Right.
Does everything make sense? Does it leave me like wondering like why did they do this and stuff like that? But
Right.
for you, I felt like you checked off every box that I look
Appreciate it,
for
dog.
when it comes to music. And like I said, I done heard your freestyles, I done heard like some singles and stuff, but when it comes to making a project, that's when I feel like you really have to tap into a different part of your brain and grab the crowd, or grab the
Right.
listener in a different sense. And I can tell that you've done all of that with this project. It's like a perfect body of work.
I thank you. See, with a
Yeah.
project, right? And I think for people who've never written a project or who haven't listened to a lot of projects, there's sort of a lot of little nuances you don't think about. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm making these 7 songs, I got to make sure in all 7 songs, at least someone like me, I'm not like rhyming the same word. So it's like
Exactly.
you're not even thinking about that as you pen it. It's just like, damn, I say the word that a lot, or like
Yeah.
something like that, something little that it literally starts showing you components and the makeup of you. You start like, God, it becomes therapeutic. When I
Mm-hmm.
listen to, if I, but my discography, it's like, niggas gotta think about it. Some of my first music you go listen to, I was like 18 or 19, like I'm still a kid,
Yeah.
right? And my thought process is juvenile, and my reasoning is juvenile, and because of that, some of the thoughts in my music are juvenile. People ask me, "Do as you grow, do you wish you didn't make or say certain things?" Like, hell no. The
Mm-mm.
fuck?
It's
It's like
it's all a part of the
you think
journey.
oh God, you think I'm ashamed I used to piss the
Mm-mm.
bed? No, nigga,
No.
that's how you get here. That's what I had to do. And
Mm-hmm.
and and I might have had to piss the bed longer than some niggas because I was wilding for a long time.
Hey.
But the point being that I figured it out, right? And I hope everybody can take this album as motivation. That's one of the things. It's like I come from a place with not a lot of niggas make it successfully, right? And
Exactly.
so there's a lot of artists that I think are really dope that they're looking up to me. They're looking at me as motivation. They're looking at me as maybe a blueprint of what they're gonna do. And I
Mm-hmm.
try not to disappoint. I try to keep authentic and keep it real for them niggas. And I hope they can use this album as a road, as a blueprint. Hop in your
Mm-hmm.
rental red bands and park that bitch on 6th Street, Austin, Texas, because it gets bad if you keep going. Walking
Absolutely,
at the party.
absolutely. But I do like that you said that, because it's almost like you putting added pressure on yourself in a sense, not intentionally, but like you said, you're that a lot of people don't really make it out from the parts that you associate yourself with and stuff. But being that you can be one of those people that kind of trailblaze, set the path, and like you said, lay down the foundation, lay down a blueprint, so everybody else can, that can motivate everybody, motivate the people in the hood and stuff, like hey, like this can really be done. And then that,
Mm,
being that they see the transformation and the shift in your life, that could even just from them listening to your body of work, you don't even have to say a word to them. You could use your body of work, and that could instantly start shifting people's minds and start having them want to elevate and be like, okay, so it is more to life. it is a, you know, light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
It
Yeah.
is
No.
positivity and stuff. So it's just
And
so much that I
I have
love
so
about it.
many more of the homies hitting me up, like showing me their music than
Hmm.
them same homies, nigga. They used to be hitting me up like, man, can I get a quarter? Let me get a half a.
It
But it's different now. It's like I'd much rather you just show me your EP, nigga. Even if it's whack, I'm gonna tell you it's whack. But I'd rather you just be doing that because I know it's death on the other end. It's
hmm
like I was 21 years old and I watched, and I sat in there with a lawyer, and they told me, so you gonna do 4 0 to 20 charges. I said, you think they'll max me out? She said they could because I had another case on that beat.
hmm
So I said, so potentially, what does that look like? She said, potentially 80 years. Nigga,
Ooh.
I think that I'm hearing that number was like a
It
key in my brain to unlock some shit. I said, oh, whoa, that nigga, I'm cooked. 80 years, I'm cooked. So I ended up, on my, everybody knows the story of that. I ended up on that probation for fucking 150 years. I had a
Yeah.
drug test 3 times a week, all that kind of shit. Now I'm recording reactions. My house arrest monitor is buzzing. I had 2 monitors at once, but I made it through that. And
Hmm.
this being, the light at the end of the puzzle, I'd much rather my homies eh, go down that journey than the other one because it's not easy doing YouTube or doing music. It's not, but
Absolutely.
at least you won't die. At least that's
Ex-
not your a real reality, and that's the reality for some people.
hmm I love it, man. I
All
love it.
right.
So leading off to, or you know, we got Dismas and Boys to Men knocked out. What was the thought process behind DTD, and also what does DTD stand for? Because I
DTD
personally don't know.
stands for Do the Dog, right?
Okay.
So DTD, it was a mindset of like, we started going out and we started like, you know, and YouTube checks started hitting a little bit. Nigga, the clothes started getting a little better. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They got a little jewelry and shit like that. And I started dealing with a different type of female sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it just put me in this reality of like, man, if you present that, what you put out in the world, you will get back from the world. So
Absolutely.
what do the dogs was realizing that, man, all them pretty faces, BBLs and smiles and pretty faces, BBLs and smiles, and I can live without that. I'll be
Yeah.
totally. So do the dogs is me saying like, man, I don't really give a fuck about this shit anymore. I don't really give a fuck about these hoes like that no more. Really, if they're around, they're probably for the homies. You know what I mean? It's not even for
Yep.
me. That's what do the dogs stands for.
Gotcha. And with Come With Bell, was that the particular song that you was talking about, like facing the 80 years, or is this something different?
No, come with Bell is what I'm saying is come with Bell is when I say come with Bell, it's like
I feel like it's
so I know I've
metaphorically
been
speaking.
broke, right, in my life.
Hmm.
What'd you say?
I
Sorry,
said
go ahead. What you say?
I felt like it was like metaphorically speaking on something.
Right. It was or more like a joke, but not really a joke. But like
Yeah.
I'm saying, bro, I done been dirt poor in my life.
Yes, I can
And
relate. I can
I don't
relate.
have very much. I have enough for me. I'm happy with what I got, but I don't
Mm.
have very much. So if your bitch ass try to take it, I'm gonna go to jail about this motherfucker. That's what.
Yeah, and see that's what that's what I had kind of sensed, like when I was like listening to the song, I could tell like kind of the comedic aspect from it. But like you said, at the same time, like don't play with me either. Like
But that's my personality. But I like to laugh and joke
yeah,
around. So there's
same.
into that. There's even a line. Bro, I had people call me like, I said I should have got her pregnant so that bitch was stuck with me.
Yep.
Niggas was asking me this in the chat. Bro, not literally mean that I should have. Nigga, goddamn, let me be a little. Can I paint a picture, bitch? Hold on, god damn.
and that's what I love about artistry too. And like you said earlier, where you were just speaking on like not really saying too much in the project and just leaving it up for interpretation. And I say that all
Right.
the time when I'm speaking with my audience and stuff. Like that's one of the things that I really, really, really love about music. I'm not gonna say it's like a right or a wrong. It's just I mean it's a certain right for the artist, of course, because y'all are the ones that's producing the projects and the songs and stuff. But as far as interpretation, what I hear and interpret could be totally different from what the next
Right.
10 people interpret, but it don't mean that
Right.
neither one of us wrong. But that's the
Right.
beauty of the music and the art behind it. And I love it so much.
So I'll tell you a story. So one time I went to my white homeboy's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said this, my mom's cooking this dinner, like it's just her special dish, right? And nigga, he gassed this motherfucker up, and I was geeked. I was over geeked to eat this food, bro.
Yep.
She brought me this chickpea soup, bro, and I didn't know what a chickpea was, to be honest with you. And the
Yeah.
only soup I've ever eaten comes with fufu. So I I reached in here and I said, damn, in my head, I ate the soup. I'm a tough nigga. I stood my ground. So this tastes exactly like cat piss. So I say all that to say the power of interpretation. There is no right or wrong. To
Mm-hmm.
him, that cat piss was a delicacy.
Yeah.
A nigga, I wouldn't give that shit to my worst enemy. And that's just how it goes. That's just I'm not mad at him for it
Yeah.
because it's just my tongue don't, I like seasoning.
Exactly.
They like mayonnaise. It's a
It's
little different.
it's different. It's different. But yeah, like you said, that's the beauty of it though.
That is the beauty of music.
And we did touch on Blick in the Picnic Basket and 6th Street, Austin, Texas. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add to either one of those tracks other than what you touched on already? Or
Like I said, rental Red Benz is the journey of it all. People is catching on. People ask like, damn, there's certain things that I'm not gonna answer, right?
yeah,
So niggas keep asking me,
leave it up for interpretation.
did I diss AK? Did I diss academics?
Yep.
I'm gonna say, nigga, just listen to the album and you tell me.
Yep.
And the other one would be the other thing that I will say is people are asking me, am I talking about Kanye West at the end of Rental Red Bands?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because at the end of it, I start speaking about nigga sold his soul just to buy a boat. Whole time he knows his black ass can't swim. But I cut out the can't swim, right? But
Uh-huh.
I say that because this negative stereotype that will be placed upon black niggas is the way that you will still be perceived. Whether you are covered and draped in gold or not, they're
Mm-hmm.
just looking at you as this, as you see how you end up being treated. Don't like Kanye West. Fuck all that shit that nigga be talking about. He's a clown to me. But it was the allegory of it all was you sold out the culture, you sold out your people, you sold us out multiple times
Mm-hmm.
for for whether it be to fashion or whatever world you deem to perceive to be better than us. And the whole time they would have never loved you. But had being Kanye just stayed in hip hop forever, they would have built statues for him.
Yep. He was
So
on a crazy trajectory too.
niggas started freaking out going to them weird Hollywood parties doing that. Okay, it's like that shit ain't gonna, nigga, that
Yeah.
shit ain't gonna last. I guess I did answer that question in me not answering it, but it speaks to it. But it's not just Kanye West at all.
Yeah.
He's a great example that we all see. It's sometimes, again, is don't lose what is you for what other people deem to be success. Success should
Exactly.
be a metric of how well is you and your family taken care of? How happy are you on a day-to-day basis? How do the people who love you speak about you? That's success. All that
Mm-hmm.
numbers, all that, them big cars, fast cars, it's like cool shit.
Yeah,
But in
absolutely.
reality, that can't be the true metric of success because they print money every day and building new shit. It's a
Exact
never-ending
exactly.
rat race of capitalism.
Yep. And then like once if you measuring your success off of that, once you get it, then what?
Damn what?
So
Damn
like
what?
it's like the end
Damn
of
what?
it's like the end of the road for you then.
And that's why them niggas get rich and go crazy.
Exactly.
Because you gotta think about it, and that's what that come with bail. I'm eating Happy Meals and in that new Chanel, nigga. If
Man,
you ever
I
in
love that
your
line.
life,
I love that line so much, man.
if you ever like went to McDonald's with your homeboy and niggas had to share money together to make a meal,
Yep.
can you be mad, really?
Come come
Can
on,
you be
man.
mad at life right now? How can you be mad? What, bro? Because, bro, it could be so much worse. And you
Exactly.
know it could be.
Exactly. You done seen the worst.
You saw I said to do it. Oh, God. I've been tapping that empty ass cup for a minute.
But yeah, overall though, like I said, I definitely enjoyed the album. And the other thing I didn't mention, but I did mention in my reaction, one of the other things that I check for when it comes to bodies of work is the replay value. Like once I done heard it one time, can I go back to it and still kind of get that same feeling, or at least
Hmm.
still have a want to go back to that
Yeah,
album. And
facts.
that yeah, with your album, it definitely checked that box off as well. And
Appreciate that.
yeah,
Everybody gotta go stream that rental Red Benz,
yes
man. You
sir.
heard it. You heard it from Retro Quit.
One other question I did have with the cause I love album like the artwork for the album too, like just in general, but for yours in particular, what was the thought process that went behind like the cover art for
That's a fire question
it?
because so I'm gonna butcher his name, but he is a very famous Japanese painter, and he's famous because his the simplicity of his paintings, along with some of the. So I upped the vibrance in that picture, but it already naturally had great vibrance, and
Mm,
it's a famous painting, and it was just sort of we just little things because of how you have to upload things, I have to add the parental advisory and shit like that. But
yeah.
it was and I thought that the simplicity of the artwork matched the feeling and the simplicity of life
Mm-hmm.
because we could spend hours breaking it down and you figure out that this painting that looks simple really isn't simple, or
Yeah.
you could just look at it and go it's simple, but that's how it felt like this album is it's easy to listen to. You
Mm-hmm.
can, for the most advanced hip hop fan, you'll find a lot, and for a person who just likes like hits or music you can dance to or some shit to
Mm-hmm.
tap your feet. Not every song is to dance to, but we have that for you here too. We checking the
Yeah.
boxes.
And I'm glad you mentioned that too about the dance music. Cause another thing that I did like about your EP too, you had you had a lot of different elements for a lot of different feelings. Like like you had your happy, you had like your kind of like your darkness, not really darkness, but like
No, I know what you mean.
you know
Yeah,
what I'm
it got
saying. So
dark.
yeah, yeah. And then like you had kind of like some good vibes that you can kind of like I can't remember which one it was, but like I can envision, because a lot of times when I'm listening to projects and stuff, I can envision certain things in my head, like certain places I would be at and stuff. And a couple of
Yeah.
the songs that you had, I could like really visualize myself cruising through the streets of Cali, like in a drop top and stuff like that. And I
Texas,
just
don't get it wrong, Texas. But yeah,
well, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Texas.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I definitely could get like that feel and stuff as I was listening to some of those songs. And then now it was one of the songs too. I can't remember which one, but I thought you were gonna actually sing on it, like do some singing, but like give us like a harmony.
And that was Sixth Street, Austin, Texas.
Okay.
You thought I was gonna say it, which is hilarious because you weren't the only person to react and said it. I love to watch the reactions.
Yeah.
Like I watch the reactions of people who react to my stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, niggas definitely thought I was gonna sing, or niggas thought I was Bond live singing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But and so the niggas who thought I was Von Live, they left that bitch thinking I was Drake. They like, oh, he can sing too. They was, but no, I didn't call for. So Sixth Street, Austin, Texas, makes me feel like, bro, I was tapping into like Fabulous,
Yeah.
like that when they would have those, like when R&B and hip hop was really just always intertwining in that early
Mm,
2000s, and
man.
how hit songs were composed at that time. And so the energy of that is, I'm the rapper
Yeah.
on the R&B song.
Hmm.
One thing they never did back then was have the rapper start singing.
Absolutely.
Mike
Absolutely.
never had a rap like Pac, and Pac never tried to sing like Mike.
Mm-mm. It was
You know
different.
what
They
I'm
always had
saying?
it separate.
You
Always
gotta
had
do
it
your own.
separate.
So that was the feeling of that song. That's why I did. But I still think it's super hilarious.
Man,
Niggas just wanted me to sing on that
I
hoe.
ain't gonna lie to you, man. I was listening to it. I'm like, I just know a verse about to come up with some melodic singing or something. I just know it is. So that
On
will
American, I'm gonna do Queso Does Ballads next. Don't worry. I got you. I'm be covering Adele, Amy, Whitney Houston, Amy
for sure.
Winehouse. I'm
For
gonna be on
sure.
that.
But before I get you out of here, I do want you to give us your top four artists of all time, like a miniature Mount Rushmore, and then we can do a plus one if you can't squeeze four in.
As you said, queso,
I like it.
dialogue. That top four for real is
It's a lot of them
okay.
out
Okay,
there.
when you ask that question, you have to preface this with, am I gonna say the greatest rappers of all time or Queso Big Dipper's favorite rappers of all time?
Your favorite, and I'm glad that you said that because a lot of times when people get asked this question, they give us the same answers that everybody else, and I'm
Right,
like,
because this isn't MJ,
it,
LeBron. It's just like, no nigga,
ex-
I like Damian Lillard. Like
exactly, exactly.
okay, my top four is gonna be DMX.
Mm-hmm.
Um, DMX sort of there's music is about making you feel something, and
Yes.
DMX is the only nigga in one album can make me knock a nigga out, cry, go to church, call my grandma, go get high, go get drunk at the club, come back from the club, go on my way. So one album,
One album.
come on. So X1, Wayne, to, and there's
Like
no
it.
order for Mount Rushmore,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Wayne's
for
gonna
sure.
be up there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting like Kendrick might be on my Mount Rushmore. I think the thing about Kendrick is there's a part of his discography that I listen to after it's time. So you have
Mm-hmm.
to experience music sometime. So I think that if I would have experienced it more, which I should have, I probably would have a higher that list. But I think Kendrick is definitely has made a case, especially for this last 3 years. It's like
Man.
from Mr. Morale on, or nah, he's on my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Number four, it's when it gets hard because it's like, God, I'm about to forget so many
that's
niggas.
that's why I
Um,
gave you that's why I gave you a plus one for the fifth slot. You got X, Kendrick,
these are rappers, right?
yeah. Or you can go artists if you want to, just artists in general.
Oh, oh,
That
oh,
probably that
oh.
probably changed everything now, don't it?
Everything, nigga. This gonna be DMX, Ed Sheeran, Jason Mraz, and then probably Wayne again or Kendrick, one of
you
them
see,
niggas. But
you see how easy
I
that made it.
four, because rap comes, it's like nigga realistic. I might put Dirk up there.
Yep.
If I'm being honest with you, because I'm trying to base this off of nigga, what do you listen to? And what have you listened to for the goddamn, probably Lil Durk would be
Yeah.
four on my Mount Rushmore, Free Smirk.
I've been bumping a lot of Dirk lately, like a lot. Like of course, before he got into this situation, I was
Yeah,
already tapped in with him like pretty heavy, but like just going back and just checking out some of his old body of work and just leading up
fire,
to what man. His
fire,
storytelling crazy. Like
crazy.
I felt like I was in Chicago with him.
The problem is his storytelling too good. That nigga done kind of Rico. Nigga told nigga storytelling was so goddamn good. That nigga caught federal charges. You got
I'm,
it. That give you a little extra to it. You be like,
I'm
who this dumb
bad.
motherfucker can rap? Boy,
I'm telling you, man. And my last question, I think you touched on it some a little earlier when you was talking about trying to have about five. I think you said about 5 projects out over the next. I think you say a year, like year span or something.
yeah, yeah.
When should we? What is actually a 2-part question. When should we expect the I guess the full album or the next body of work, and will we get a Queso and Screw collab?
All right, I'll answer those in the sequence in which you asked them.
Okay.
There will be. You should expect a new body of work fairly soon. As I'm putting out this one, I'm already recording the next one. It's already a
Mm-hmm.
work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of records um in the works. We have a lot of themes, records being written, being beats being made. So expect it fairly soon. Like I said, however, we're 4 months into the year and I'm only at one. So give or take at four
Mm-hmm.
or five in this year. But just given I don't know how the math break down on that, what every 2 months, every
They
three
coming.
months, I'm
Just
like,
know they coming.
and then a lot of niggas don't even know that I have a collab with Screw.
Mm-hmm.
It's called African Gold. It's on my original. It's on my album Meet Me at Freestone Park, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we can expect soon a collaboration with Screw. You never
Okay.
know. You never know what's gonna
Hey,
come.
we'll
We
leave
talk
it.
every
We'll
day.
leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
As it's not more. It's like as shit cooks, we talk. It's records have been set back and forth, but then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's a timing thing. It's a drop thing. It's a does
Yep.
this go on the EP? Does this go on the album? Does this go
Yep.
on the EP? It doesn't go for the album. We put it together. So it's just with music, it's always moving pieces, but it'll come when it comes.
Absolutely. And we'll be
Make
ready.
sense? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. So closing out, I just want you to give everybody your socials, where they can find you at, YouTube, and of
That's
course
queso.
I have everything down below too, but just shout it out.
Appreciate you, guys.
Yes, sir.
As Queso Big Dipper on all streaming platforms. And again, the project is Rental Red Benz. One nigga said Benz with a Z. That's how it's spelled. Yeah, I didn't remix it.
Yep.
Rental Red Benz with a Z. Out now on all streaming platforms, as Spotify, Apple Music, been real, nigga. We got it everywhere. Go stream
YouTube.
it. Go check it out. It's on YouTube. Uh, Go run it up. Like I said, this project is my best project, and it's my most honest project, and it's thematically my most concise project. The rapping is the best I've ever been rapping. The
Mm-hmm.
hooks is hooking better than they ever been hooking. It's a wave, and if you enjoy hip hop, which I know my fans do, and I know your fans do on this channel, if you enjoy high level rapping, we got one for
Yes. Yes.
you. So
Hey,
sad.
that's Queso Big Dipper, y'all. Y'all
All
make sure that
right,
y'all go
y'all
and check him
appreciate
out.
it. We out there.
Yes, sir.